In addition to that, here's Maurice's comment. All of this demo seems very complicated to me. Just started with options. Okay, Maurice, let me guide you somewhere real quick. The Friday sessions can be a little bit overwhelming and complicated with the investors that are here. We do regular webinars during the week, promotional webinars, demonstrations of the website, Maurice, and more. The Friday sessions, I just take all questions that come in because I can plan for weekly webinars and show you what I want to show you. I can show you how to use the tools. I can show you how to use the tools for strategies that I use and strategies that other investors use, strategies that are being mentioned, strategies that are becoming popular. You know, we go through cycles. 8 months ago, broken wing butterflies were extremely popular. 3 months ago, reverse butterflies were popular for a low-cost way to have a straddle, but to collect some premium against it, but it capped both directions. But because of market conditions, these things go on and on. I'm just fielding all live questions that are coming from PowerOptions trial members, subscribers, and sometimes on these Friday sessions where we can bounce from a discussion on the proper structure of an in-the-money covered call for someone who's just getting started or just buying calls and the tools on PowerOptions to use it, to a discussion on double ratio back put spreads that probably 0.5% of all options traders use. So with that in mind, I encourage you to stay online here for some of our other topics that come on if you have the time. But remember, Maurice, at any time, you can go to our webinars page. This is a public page, powerop.com/webinars.asp. And this is the best place to go for just introduction to basic tools, a stock repair tool, very important to use. Hey, we addressed it on February 5th after we saw a little bit of a decline there before this big decline. But on PowerOptions, we have a stock repair tool. We talk about the market sentiment tool, I'm sorry. Here's just a view on the PowerOptions search tools. We support 23 different strategies. This shows what criteria are available in the search tool for stocks, options, how easy it is to create your own cert, tips, and more. How to research and analyze a new options position using the PowerOptions tools. How to function with our portfolio tools to enhance your trading as well. And then there's other ones here in option strategies, from the more complex to the more basic. Concepts on credit and debit spreads. Let's see here. A married put liquidity, iron condor triggers and management. But you keep going down here and you'll see just simple ones. Rolling up a covered call. Criteria for buying a call, buying a put. Debit spreads versus credit spreads. How to be successful with spread trades. This is your resource to help you get started and help you get further with your options education. And at any time, you can always send me an email as well. Okay, you can send me an email at any time with questions that you have about options, and I'll answer them, but I will also give you references. Since I know the whole library that we have on PowerOptions and on YouTube, I'll give you the links directly to what videos best apply. See, here's one here, full webinar on calendar spread basics, more in depth than what we went into today, and calendar spread criteria. Emphasis, of course, on that debit to strike difference ratio for the diagonals in that case as well. Okay, so going back a stage, there's even some options concepts ones that are here from. Recent one was now the right time to buy VIX calls. Boy, was it ever. We had that discussion with Jim on the 17th. Do 85% of options traders lose money? You might come across that, Maurice, in your research. Check out this video here in the options concepts because we debunk several of those myths there as well. This good one here is $1 million, what I call one of the $1 million question for options investors. Can I control risk and make my target return? That's a great question. Can you do it? Yeah, there's different ways to do that as well. Just going through some. Manage your broken position, whether we're talking about a stock position, a covered call that's moved against you or more. That stock repair tool also works for you covered call traders who are maybe looking at losses now and don't necessarily want to roll down in price. To where that options exercise versus assignment. This is a really popular one as well. Implied volatility, the double-edged sword. There's another one here, Greeks. Not everyone agrees with me on this, but Greeks and why you may not need them for options trading. And the old adage, stock or portfolio insurance, we had a rehash of that just last week with our discussion and link to those two as well. A great resource there and reference also for you to do. Okay. Todd, I'm going to get to your question in just a second. All right. But first, I want to there's a quick question, Todd. You had two-part question, it looks like. I want to look at RJ's question. I'm limiting to sell covered calls. This is RJ, I'm sorry. I'm limiting to selling covered calls only. Most of my funds in retirement accounts. So this is of no use to me. Thank you for the opportunity to attend. Oh, okay. Well, if you're still online, and the name on there was RJ, but it was signed Dick. It says, thank you for the opportunity to attend DICK. But the name here is RJ. On Power Options, the tools and education we have available for you are vast for covered calls. Ernie has developed his monthly and weekly picks of the day. Of course, this might not be the time to be doing covered calls. You might want to investigate if you can do long collars in this type of market, which is similar to a covered call. You're just buying an out-of-the-money put, but still keeping a premium in check. So we have patented search tools where you can search across the universe of options to identify only those positions that match your risk-reward tolerance. And we've got default screens for in-the-money covered calls, out-of-the-money covered calls. You can plug in your criteria, and we've got vast amounts of education on management, getting into the covered call, and the power of our portfolio tools when you're tracking and managing your positions, whether it be a covered call, naked put, married put. You can link to the position analysis screen here through this menu, and it'll show you potential rollout opportunities where we do all the math for you to show you new potential return, new cost basis, probability, and more. And you can see a before and after picture right there, all done for you. Okay? So that's sort of the idea with what's available. But you can check it out here anytime, RJ / Dick. And you see the strategy helps here as well. And again, patented tools for searching one stock at a time. And then, of course, what are the picks of the day? This is where Ernie said, look, investors asked him and asked me, that's what I do with bull puts and other strategies, but they were asking Ernie, well, you've been trading options for 40 or 50 years. What criteria set would you use for covered calls? And in general, the defaults that we have there is what we would start trading. But what Ernie did is try to develop a method, and he shows you here what he did, and you can click the link here to say, see how we developed these results. And it goes through what he did. He probably ran through 75 to 80 different criteria sets for stocks and for options, for covered calls, in the money, at the money, out of the money, high volatility, low volatility, to develop a structure for the criteria, a search for stock and option criteria that over time required the least amount of management and gave the best return. And that's what this is. The criteria that he set up here, next monthly expiration, no, this is if you want to do the monthly picks of the day, also develop the weekly, 20-day SMA, positive open interest and liquidity, positive MACD, yielding 0.8% return if assigned, protection 10% in case of a market pullback, and strong buy recommendation and other criteria. And he went through and he tested this over multiple market conditions to see which criteria worked best, gave the best return, with the least amount of management, not worrying about rolling down too much or trying to roll out 6 months in time to keep the position and so forth, but just to have a way, say if the stock falls 10%, 15%, just close out of the position, move on to the next one, to keep it simple without an overabundance of management. And this is the result. This criteria he's using for the monthly picks of the day, the weekly picks of the day, are there and are the results of that extensive and exhaustive testing. That's what I did with the bull put credits. The bull put weekly screen is what I use to pick trades if the market is correct for bull put credits, with only 10 to 15% of my total portfolio, because you can see 100% losses as well. We also have those picks of the day available for naked puts at this current time as well. All right, so RJ, I understand. Yeah, so RJ says that was very helpful. Glad I hung around. Thanks. I'm glad you did too. I'm glad I got to address that. So take some time, jump on Power Options there, go through some of the help information as well, and then you'll be able to see information on using the search, using the portfolio. The webinars there will describe it for you. Email me any questions you have. I'll also point you in the right direction.